Hey, 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 hey. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Blessed Saturday morning, everybody. It's a wonderful Saturday morning out here. Feeling good, feeling good. Hope everybody's doing well. Hope everybody's doing well this morning. Hey, hey. Somebody's up. I know it's Saturday. A lot of people are off. People probably still in the bed trying to catch that weekend rest. Nothing wrong with that at all. Hey, hey, family. Hope you guys are doing well. Hey, hey, good morning. Bread Buddy in the building. Well, I'm not in the building, I'm outside. Good to see you. Good to see everybody. Love you guys a whole lot. Hey, real quick, jump into these morning nuggets so we can all get on with the rest of our day, right? And enjoy this nice Saturday out here. So, yesterday, we talked a bit about accepting our assignment, right? And the fact that we were created to serve the Creator and do a work building the kingdom, right? So today, briefly, I'm going to talk about three things that shape us. Three things, don't worry, they're going to be real quick things. I'm not going to elaborate greatly on any of them, but three things that shape us. We got to remember that each one of us is unique. God created us uniquely. He didn't create any of us exactly the same because he didn't need us all the same. We were all the same. A whole lot of us would be unnecessary, right? So we may have similar gifts, but we don't have the same exact mix, right? So no one else can play the role that God created you to play. You were created to play a role, and nobody can play that role like you but you. 1 Corinthians 12:6 says, "And there are diversities of operations, but it is the same God which worketh in all." So we're all different. All of us are different, but the same God created us. The same God is working through the gifts that he has given us. So let's jump into these three things that shape us, right? Number one, our abilities. Our abilities shape us. Our abilities are simply the means or skill to do something, right? We're good at doing something. Some people have a natural athletic ability, right? I'll take my son, for instance. When I was growing up, basketball and football were my thing with sports, right? Football for a little bit, and then basketball took over, and that was it. Basketball was the world to me. My son has a natural athletic ability, which means he's just good at anything that he's ever tried. So there was a point in time where he decided, I decided he was going to play basketball. But there came a time where he decided as a youngster that he liked soccer. And he would go out, he'd pick up a soccer ball, and he's out here doing these soccer tricks. And I'm like, how is he doing this with this ball and he's never played before? Because he had this natural athletic ability. Grows up, he's playing basketball, decides he wants to run track. He can run. He's like good at track. He's like just naturally able to do these things athletically, right? And a lot of people are. I have an uncle who's a mechanic. Literally listens to your car and pretty much tell you everything that's wrong with it. Some people have these different abilities to do these things, right? All of these abilities come from God, our Father. Romans 12:6 says, "Since we have gifts that differ according to the grace given to us, each of us is to use them accordingly." Accordingly, right? Your abilities, remember this, your abilities are to bring glory to God, no matter what you are. Now, it does not mean that all of your abilities have to necessarily be used in the church, right? Because you don't live in the church, you live outside. But wherever you are, your abilities are to bring glory to God. You can be an artist, you can be a musician, a writer, athlete, you may even be an investor. Whatever it is that you are, you will allow those abilities to give glory to God. Well, how? By using them. If you're a writer, write. If you're a musician, play, sing, do whatever it is that you do. When you use those gifts, God automatically gets glorified because he's the giver of the gifts. He's the creator of the gifts. So you use those to bring glory to God. Second thing that helps shape us is our personality, which accompanies our ability. And it's good that we all have different personalities, right? Because we were all the same, had exact same personality, that wouldn't be good. But different personalities bring balance to the kingdom. There may be two of us that are called to evangelize, right? But we may have different ways based on our personality, different ways that we see evangelism being carried out. You may feel like, hey, I'm going to go out here and start a tent meeting. I'm going to be out here on the street and I'm going to do this. I'm going to evangelize and draw people into the kingdom, right? Which is great because it fits you. That's what you were called to do. I may decide to do it through YouTube. I may do YouTube videos because maybe that's my area. Maybe that's where my gifting lies, more in the media aspect, right? So it depends on who he created us to be. But we got to learn to be true to that personality. Don't try to adapt to someone else's personality. And a lot of times what happens is we force people, or we try to force people to do things, and we want them to do it because we know that they're gifted at it. But we try to take them out of their comfort zone in terms of what their personality is, right? So a lot of times people step back, or they can't operate effectively because they're being asked to operate outside of their character. So we want to make sure that we're learning to do things using our character, the character and the personality that God gave us. I mean, it feels good to do what you do when you're doing it the way that you do it, right? Growing up, I sang in the choir, and it was fun growing up in church. But as I got older, I didn't like singing in the choir too much. But I did love singing with 4 or 5 guys where we could come together and harmonize and just sing. And that became the thing. So I was more comfortable doing that than I was singing lead in a choir, right? That was just my comfort zone. I felt that I was to be doing something different. So we want to make sure that we're operating within our character. The last thing here is our experiences. Our experiences. Third thing that shapes us is our experiences, our family experiences. What did you learn growing up? In my household, you know what I learned. Some of you on here, a lot of you, most of you on here, grew up right along with me, or those that are a bit older than myself, you were raising your families the same exact way. We learned that God was the one true God. We learned that God was the creator. My household, I was taught how to obey the law, statutes, and commandments of God, right? So how did this help me in life? It helped me to be able to look at things through a correct lens, through a lens that gave me balance, right? I was able to look at something and know that that particular thing was not right. No matter how many people were doing it, I knew that it wasn't right because I had been given laws and commandments. I had something to measure it by, right? A lot of people can't measure anything because they don't have a barrier to measure by. But my household gave me that. Let's look at educational experiences. What did you learn in school? What did you learn how to do, right? I remember growing up in the city, right? And I went to high school in the city. I went to grade school in the city. And I remember after my freshman year, I transferred to a different school in the suburbs. And this was a private school. And in this private school, there were not a whole lot of people that looked like me. But where I had just come from, everybody looked like me. Everybody. So now here it is. I'm thrown into a situation where I'm one of a few. So there were a lot of cultural differences. But guess what? That helped shape who I became. Why? Because where I came from and where I went to, there were different cultural things, different cultural identities going on. There was a way that they did things that we didn't do things. So I got to learn how a different group of people lived, right? So it helped me to begin to understand some things about others and understand some things about myself, which in turn made me a better person in life because now I can relate to people on a different level because of that experience. What type of job have you had? Your job experience helps shape you, right? What about pain, problems, hurts, and disappointment? That's a big one. It helps shape us, right? We all go through things, but God allows us to go through these things because it's going to build us. Those experiences help us to grow to the next level. It helps us to step up to where it is that He's called us to be and what He's called us to do. But we got to be willing to do it. Remember, He's not going to put more on us than we can bear, right? He's not. But yet he's got to put some things on us so that he can help us get to where we need to be. And you got to be willing to share those experiences. How many times have you been in church and someone may have testified about something that they were struggling with? Do you not know that there are people sitting right in the midst that have already struggled with that same exact thing and overcame it, but yet not willing to share it? We've got to be willing to share those things, right? If I'm an investor and I kept investing in a certain stock, and that stock never ever is good, and I see you about to invest in that same stock, why would I not come to you and say, hey, don't do that? I've done this, and I've lost a lot of money doing this. I'm not going to let you do the same thing. I'm going to come to you and share with you my experience. But what we as people sometimes do, we hold that to ourselves. But do you not know that your very experience could bring somebody else freedom? Do you not know that your very experience could help encourage somebody else and help them to succeed in life like never before? But we got to be willing to do that. We got to be willing to share our experiences with one another. So it looks like my time is up. Those are the three things that help shape us. Remember, we're on this road to purpose. Everything we're talking about is about purpose, 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 because we're all called to do something. Remember those three things that help shape us: our abilities, our personalities, and our experiences, right? So listen, thanks for tuning in. Listen, tomorrow morning, I'm coming back at 8 o'clock with a few more nuggets. And then at 11:15, I want you to join us here on Facebook Live. I'll actually be speaking to you tomorrow at 11:15. So I look forward to seeing you. Invite somebody. Invite them to come out, like this video, share this video, and together, let's live in purpose. Family, it's Minister Don Lamar saying, I love you. Be blessed. Have an incredible, incredible day. Talk to you soon.